terraforming another planet would cost more than the entire global GDP and take over 100 years, and that's if everything goes perfectly according to plan. The scale of what we're considering is absolutely staggering.
Those numbers are mind-blowing. What got you looking into the economics of planetary engineering?
Well, I've been diving into these new simulation models that show how terraforming could go catastrophically wrong. Picture trying to warm up Mars by releasing greenhouse gases, but then losing control of the chemical reactions. We could accidentally create conditions worse than Venus, with surface temperatures hot enough to melt lead.
That really highlights how little we understand about planetary scale interventions. What do the latest studies say about timeline feasibility?
The research suggests even creating a barely breathable atmosphere would take at least 2 centuries. And here's what's fascinating. Recent detection technologies have found potential biosignatures in Mars's deeper soil layers that could indicate dormant microbial life.
Oh wow, so we could potentially be destroying evidence of ancient life before we even properly understand it?
Exactly. That's why some scientists have proposed what they're calling the planetary protection principle, the idea that we have an obligation to preserve worlds in their natural state. But here's where it gets complicated. Others argue we have a moral imperative to create backup habitats for Earth's species.
That reminds me of historical parallels with colonization and its impact on indigenous ecosystems. Are we potentially repeating past mistakes on a cosmic scale?
That's such an important point. And it gets even more complex when you look at the latest psychological research. Studies from isolation experiments show severe mental health challenges. Even in simulated Mars-like conditions, we're talking about new forms of depression and spatial disorientation we don't even have names for yet.
Well, that makes me think about the social implications. How would we prevent this from becoming just another form of inequality?
The current proposals suggest starting with scientists and technical experts, but there's intense debate about long-term population selection. Some argue for a lottery system, others for merit-based selection. But here's what's really interesting. Some economists argue that the research required for terraforming could actually help solve problems on Earth.
Like what? How would that technology transfer work?
So the same systems we'd need to create a breathable atmosphere on Mars could help us repair our own atmosphere. And get this, the latest research shows space technology development has already given us everything from improved water purification to revolutionary solar panel designs.
That's quite the silver lining, but wouldn't it make more sense to just apply those resources directly to Earth's problems?
Well, the data suggests it's not necessarily an either-or situation. For instance, the recycling systems designed for space stations have completely transformed our approach to sustainable living on Earth. But you're right, we need to maintain focus on our home planet's health.
The whole discussion really highlights how interconnected these challenges are. It's not just about the technical ability to transform planets.
And that brings us to what might be the most crucial finding. In recent studies, we need to develop what researchers are calling planetary stewardship. The latest ethical frameworks suggest we need a completely new way of thinking about our relationship with other worlds.
That's quite the evolutionary leap for a species still struggling with basic environmental protection.
You know what's fascinating? The research indicates we're at this unique crossroads where our technical capabilities have outpaced our ethical framework. Maybe that's exactly where we need to be advancing our moral understanding alongside our technological capabilities.
So perhaps the real challenge isn't just figuring out how to transform other planets, but how to transform ourselves into responsible custodians of any world we might inhabit. And
Exactly. The latest studies suggest that pursuing these technologies isn't just about the practical applications. It's forcing us to grapple with fundamental questions about our place in the universe and our responsibilities as an intelligent species.